Hello everyone, welcome back to my series for FortiNet 0 production. In my last video, I actually created the route maps between DCDR and to the ISP. So my DCDR and ISP underlay configuration is done. In this video, we will focus on our branch router. So we will configure the branch router underlay first, then we'll go forward for the AD VPN. So to do the branch router configure, actually today I'll grab the configuration template from the DC and create a CLI reference. So in future we can use this for branch 2, branch 3, and also in the automations in the Python. So let's start. So to do that, first we need to configure the interfaces port 1, port 2, and port 3. In port 3 there will be two VLAN, one is for corporate and another is for guest. And all the IPs I have in here, so corp will be for branch 1, corp will be 10.2.1.0 and guest will be 10.3.1.0. And we have the ISP IPs also 172.16.1.0 and 2.0, 17.1.0. Let's take it. Let me show you how do I actually grab config from the from any configured firewall. So that's very easy. Like first thing, we need to configure the network address. Actually port 1, port 2, and port 3. So let's see how we did it in the FortiGate firewall. From the interface port 1, we actually put the IP. So if I want to see what would be the CLI address, so at that point, if I go to edit with CLI, it will only show me that what port 1 have. So let's copy this and paste it into our Notepad+. For this, we actually need to change the IP. That's 11, and by default, the port 1 is configured as the DHCP, so we need to put the set mode static. Port 1 configuration done. Then we have to configure the port 2. Port 2 there, and it will be 17 from my IP sheet. And the SNMP thing, it will automatically add by default from FortiGate. So we cannot manual configure the SNMP index, so I'm removing it. Great. Done. So my port 1 and port 2 configured done. Now I need to configure the VLAN. So for the VLAN configuration, I will again go to my existing VLAN. Let's take it, edit with CLI. I'll grab the configuration for the VLAN and I'll paste it in here. So edit, this is the name that we provided in here, like in the DC. For the app, we actually put a name, DC app 0. So for any VLAN you configure, you need to put a name and a VLAN ID. So let's see. This is our corp IP is 10.2. Let me reconfirm from the FortiGate. Yeah, corp is 10.2.2.10. 10.2.1.0. Device detection, it's by default command. We can take it or remove it, doesn't matter. SNMP by default it will add, but for the VLAN ID is 100 and we'll bind it to port 2. Where is my topology? Yeah, in the port, oh sorry, actually port 3 will bind it in here. Port 3. We need to create another one for the guest and guest IP is 3 and we'll bind it in port 3 and the VLAN will be 200. Done. So next part, what we done, we created the objects. For the firewall, we created the object. Let's create the objects. So to do that, we need to go firewall, policy and object, then address, then like this, edit with CLI. I can grab it from the CLI. So first we create the ports, then the objects. So this is our corp. This should be 10.0, sorry, 10.2.10. Then the UID, it's also FortiGate assign it automatically. We can do this. This is my branch corp ID, corp IP, and here we'll put the address. /24. Done. So corp address is done. Also need to create the guest address. It's 3. Let's rename it guest guest. So corp and guest created. Now we need to create the, so what have we done? We put the IP addresses in here, here, and here. Now we need to configure the BGP. So to do the configure in BGP, first we need to create the, we can create the BGP first, but I want to assign the route maps in the BGP command. So let's do it. To create a route map, when we need to go to the routing object and then we need to create a prefix list, then a route map. So first we need to create the default route prefix, which will bind it to the ISP. So same, this is for the default route. Yeah, in here after next I can edit another one, but I want to take it clean so I can easily understand, okay, this is the for all of this for port 1, port 2. So even the configure is too long, I like to take it like this. So we need to create, yeah, we default route we created, then in the from the ISP we actually bind it. So after prefix list we'll create the route map command, route map, rmap, this should be our branch br, and we haven't changed anything. The prefix list we didn't change the name, so name should be there. And in the route map we added local preference 500 because we want the ISP1 is always the primary. Done. Then we need to create the other prefix lists. So what else we have? So that one is for the ISP1 in. We also need to create one for the ISP2 in. ISP2 in, 2 in, and in here we will not use any local preference. So by default it will act like a secondary route. So ISP1 and 2 I have created. So I only created what will be the FortiGate receive from the ISP1 and 2. Now I have to create a prefix list that it will advertise. So let's do it. So we have created the route map for ISP1 in. Now we'll create the our map for ISP1 out. To do that, first let's create the prefix list. Create the prefix list. This will be our beer, and this will be our one, because I put in the ISP1 I put 172.16.1.0 IP. I'll advertise that. Yes, now let's create route map for it. Routing object, ISP1 out, edit with CLI. It's not DC, it's branch. I'm changing the name only. And we have changed it the prefix list, PLBR ISP1 out. So you need to put the same. Done. Then I need to create another two for the ISP2 out. Yeah, ISP2 out. That should be our 17 if you remember from the IP sheet. And this is ISP2. Yeah. So our prefix list and route map configuration done. Now we need to configure the BGP. Let's see how the CLI of BGP. So edit with CLI, configure. Let's take the total. Up to this I will take, because this is rest of the thing is for the IPv6, and this is the redistribution and other things, the OSPF thing. We will not do it. So yeah, we'll not take that one. So up to this, let me take the config. And after that, there is an end. We need to put another end at the very end. Let me manually type it. And so now let's do it. So our ASN number, what is the ASN number? I totally forget. This is my branch, and for the branch it's 65001. Okay, 65001. My router ID is 1. Then this one will be 1. Other side DC. Let's do a thing. Replace DC to BR. So everything will replace. Then also the DR DCDR is, let's not do that because we'll not use that one because it is for the DCDR. For this BGP is for the DCDR. For this one in the branch we don't have. We have only two. Sorry, where am I in? Yeah. So we can remove it. Done. So 17.1.1 ISP is same. So we call the route map rmap br ISP1 in, rmap br ISP1 out. And this is for the ISP2. Done. Network will be 10.0.0.0. Why 10.0.0.0? No. We'll advertise only the inside network inside IP. So yeah, later on actually we need it like 10 2010. So this that we don't need those parts because there is only two. So we'll remove those. Yeah, 10.3.1. Actually, network is like right now we'll not advertise those things to the ISP, but later on when we do the AD VPN, at that point we need those. 1.1. Yeah. Let's clean up 3, 4. Yeah. So what have we done? Let's take it from beginning. If I can, like, yeah, yeah, it's a bit small, but I think you can understand. Like what we did, we created the port 1 IP. First we put the port 1 IP, then we put the port 2 IP, then we create some corp and guest in the port 3. Then we create our corp and guest object so we can use those things in the policy. We'll create lots of objects later on. This is just a beginning. Then we created the prefix list for the default route. We call it in the route map so we can receive the default route. This is for the ISP1 route map. This is for the ISP2 route map. Then we call the ISP2 out, like what our FortiGate firewall will advertise to there. Advertise to our ISP2 out. See, there is a problem. Yeah, no problem. This is for the ISP1. This is the prefix list for the ISP2. We call it in the route map for ISP1, and this is the BGP configuration. Okay, we have two neighbors, 16.1, 17.1.2. We matches those with the route map and the network command. Yeah, so far our configuration is done. So to do that, let me just wipe it. So definitely you will understand that there is nothing configured yet. So let's open, it's booting. Just a few seconds, it will take some few seconds to boot up. One, two, three, done. Admin, by default it doesn't have any password, so it's asking for me the new password. Okay, one thing I forgot, like we also need to have the host name and DHCP servers. So let's also take those. So host name, where can I find it? Let's go and search. So we change the host name from system settings. Yes. And where is my edit with CLI? Yes. Let's copy. So host name should be the first. Yeah, you can put it also in the last, but I want to do it in first. This will be our branch firewall. Yeah. And after configuring the interface, here we'll put the DHCP. So for the DHCP, I couldn't figure out like where can I find it from the GUI. So in here, the DHCP is in here, but if I edit with the CLI, it doesn't show the DHCP command. But I know where I can find it, like config system DHCP server show. This is our DHCP configuration. But in here, in the first edit one, there is a IP DHCP configure for 10 to 55.11. It actually comes from the Forti link. Like by default, when you enable a firewall, you'll see there is a Forti link and it have a DHCP range. So this is actually used for like if you get any for if you create the FortiGate fabric, like you have a FortiGate firewall and a FortiGate switch, and if you connect it to the FortiGate firewall, the switch, it will grab IP from the Forti link. Okay, so we can ignore the first one. So config settings, server, we'll edit from 2 and 3. So we have 2, so let's take 2. Sorry, I should do it from here. Yeah. Edit 2 gateway will be 10 to, for the corporate, the gateway is 10 to 11 because we put that IP in the gateway. Same. Set interface. Now we need to bind it with the corp because it's the corp DHCP. Bind it. IP range will be 10 to 100 to 10 to 1 to 54. This is the DHCP IP range. It will start from 100. Set DNS. DNS will be our internal DC DNS. Yeah. Let's also set another DNS server. 10, 100, 100, 200. So where from that secondary DNS server come? So I'm planning to put a DNS. This is my public DNS server. I'll put that IP in here. So if my DC goes down, still I have a secondary DNS, public DNS. Hopefully that will be up. And using that DNS, I can actually go to the internet. Yes, done. Then corp, done. What else I can do? Like, what if my corp for the policy, let's take it for the corp. I'll use the DR DNS. Like if DC DNS goes down, then the DR DNS will come up. Yeah. In the DR DNS, I'll put this IP. So if DC down, then it will have a secondary DNS. 2110. Yeah, let's 3 1 bind it with this guest. 3 1 3 1. Have I missed anything? Yes, I think. What is my IP sheet? Guest is 2. Yeah, done. Okay, DC is 0, DR is 1. Then corp is 2, guest is 3. Done. 3 1. The DNS for the guest, there will no private DNS because the guest will not have any access for the DC. It will only use the private DNS. Only one DNS should be there. Yeah, so far my configure looks good to me. I know there will be error. We'll remove those error. And whatever I figure out, like sometimes those space, it creates error. So I like to remove those all. Replace all, done. Control F, replace. I'm just replacing the spaces. Is there any more space? No. Okay, so let's config it in the CLI. So where is my putty? This is my branch. Let's log in, admin, admin, done. First thing first, well, we can put it together, but if I put it together, I'll cannot see that if anything, if it doesn't take any command. Okay, command or that. So I prefer first time we should put those commands step by step. So first things, I have changed the host name. Yeah, host name done. There is no error. Yeah, every command took. Done. Done. Like in future, whatever configure we done in branch, we'll take the CLI reference command in here. So there will be a template for us. Yeah, 2.3 config. Let's do up to this. Let's see. Yeah, done. For we are doing it for the guest now. Next. Yeah, see, we need to end it in here. Yeah. So end. Yeah. Because it was still in the DHCP server. So now let's create the objects. Corp. Done. Done. Now the prefix list. Let's create the prefix list. Done. Adding the prefix list in the route map. Super. Creating another prefix list. Done. Adding the prefix list. Yeah, I think I can paste all others because it will take, because I actually copy paste. And when you put the multiple, please check that about the warning that it's taking or not. Like this is a warning, this is a warning that it's added, but sometimes you'll see that there is, like, if I paste anything like unknown action or error. Now let's create the BGP. Done. Yes, I think it took every command. Get router info BGP summary. Yes, BGP is up, so I can log into my branch firewall 172.1.1 suite admin. Later, don't want to see this. Yes. So first thing first, we have created our host name. That's cool. Then we created our network interfaces, port 1, port 2, and in port 3 there is two VLANs. Let's also see the VLAN IDs. Apply VLAN 100 and 200 super. In there it have the DHCP, and in the corp there are two DNS, and in the guest there should be one DNS, the public DNS. Yes, the public DNS. Super. Then we created the routing objects. Yes, the default route and out. Then we created the BGP. We put the ASN number. We put the router ID. We created two BGP ASN and route map added in there. Also, okay, in the BGP, secondary BGP, we haven't put the route map out. So let's see why it doesn't have BGP ISP2 route map out, BR ISP2 out. Yeah, I think we haven't created the prefix list, BR ISP2 out. Config router interface BR ISP2 out. BR ISP1 out. Prefix list BR ISP2 in. Where is my out command? That should be my prefix list. Route map C. Yes, this is my ISP2 out 17. Yeah, the naming is different. Yes, ISP1. See, I put the route map, so my route map should be wrong. Dear ISP1 out. See, ISP2 out because I didn't configure it again. So after putting that, when I put this, it's actually took the 2. So let's fix it. So if I just put it in here again, it will fix. Done. So now if I see, yes, my ISP2 come again, and this ISP1, yes, it's perfect. Then my whatever we missed, like ISP2 out, yes, in the BGP, still doesn't have because we haven't configured the BGP yet. Actually, we configured, but it's missing that thing. So I can just add that, or I want to check my full configuration, that's right or wrong. And so my BGP secondary should have the yes ISP2 out. Great. So far, so we have changed the route map and everything. So we need to actually softly reset the BGP. Execute router clear BGP all soft. Yeah, get router info BGP summary. Yes, BGP summary done. Get router info BGP network 000. That should be the ISP1. Yes, ISP1 because it's have the local preference, higher local preference number. Great. BGP summary. Oh, and another thing, the network. Yes, it's have the network. Currently, we are advertising from ISP1 using this, and ISP2 is this. Let's verify this. Even though the these two network is there, it will filter as per the route map. Get router info BGP. Oh, sorry, BGP neighbor. Advertised route. Yes, only 7. Cool. So we verified everything. Now this for this our branch 1 is up and running. So on the next time we will use we will do the AD VPN and let's see what happens. Okay, for the AD VPN, yeah. So for the AD VPN, port 1 need to connect with port 1 and port 2 need to reachable with port 2. Yes, we'll do that on the next video and start up our AD VPN. Or let's do it in this video because right now I know that port 1 can ping to port 1 but port 2 will not because the default route it's specified using this. So let's see if I'm not wrong. Execute ping 172.16.253.1. Yes, but 17 will not. Why not? Because let me go there. So when we try to ping 17 for this one, actually the default route is going to there. It's going to the ISP, and the ISP one sees that it's connected with port 1, so it can go there. And when the returning path, it's actually come using the default route. It's coming here. But for the port 2, it's actually taking this one, and then it it goes to there ISP2 and come to here. But for the returning path, it have only the default route, so it's coming from here. So there is a asymmetric routing. So that's why when the FortiGate see any asymmetric routing, the receive route and sending path is different. It's actually block. So to do that, we can using the default route. Now from port 1 I am receiving default route. I'll also receive this port, this IP address. So I'll add another prefix list for this and add with this route map, and for the port 2 I'll do the same. I'll add a prefix list and add it with the route map. So let's see how can we do that. In the DC admin like get router info BGP network. See, now there is only received like network is 172.16.253 and 17.253, which is in the firewall, and rest of the network it's using the default route. But get router info BGP summary, get router info BGP neighbor this one. What is the ISP sending us? Which routes the ISP sending us? See, the ISP is sending us the 16 and 17, but we are filtering it. So let's do a filter. Let's add this to our filter. So this one, create prefix list PL ISP1 BR routes, create 172.16.1.0/24. Okay. Create new prefix list BR ISP2 BR routes, creating 172.617 1.0/24 24. Now, so for the ISP1 route, now we have only one route, default route. We also want to receive the branch ISP1 routes. Done. In the ISP2 in, we'll create another match IP address, ISP2 routes. Done. Done. We also need to create same thing in the DC branches. So branches still have the asymmetric routing. So let's do it. Routing object, route map, PL BR ISP1 routes, create. Sorry, I haven't created the prefix list, so I need to create the prefix list first. Let's create the prefix list. Prefix list PL BR ISP1 routes, creating 172 1600/16. I'll be a bit lazy. Greater than equal 24. So anything greater than /24, it will receive. Same thing for the ISP2, PLBR ISP2 routes create 172.16, sorry, 172.17.00/16, anything greater than 24. Now I need to create the route map, so I need to delete it because the name is the problem. Create route map, rmap, br isp1. Oh, sorry, we don't need to create the route map. We'll add those prefixes in a existing route map. So that's route map isp in, create, match IP address, isp1 routes. Okay. Branch isp2 in. After creating, I'll take those CLI commands for our next firewall. So now it cannot still ping the DR because we haven't softly reset it. Paste. Yeah, let's do a soft reset in DC first. Execute router clear BGP all soft. Get router info BGP summary. So see, now instead of 1 I'm receiving 2. What is receiving? Get router info BGP neighbor routes. See, yes, the SP1 IP and 17. Yes, SP2 IP. We also need to put the same command soft reset in the branch end, because if you see get router info BGP summary, still it's receiving 1, but whenever we do a soft reset, I believe it will receive 2. Oops, 3. How become? Get router info BGP network, BGP neighbors. Oh, I understand it's also receiving the DR because I use the slash greater than or equal. So yeah, later on I will also do it in the DR also. So now I believe I can ping the secondary. Super. So now if we see the traffic pattern, so when it wants to go to the secondary route, it's having a best route using this ISP. It's going there. When also in the DC, it is seeing that the best route is from there and it's going there. So you can also verify it. Let's do verify. Get router info BGP network 172.17.10. See, the best path is the second ISP2. It have only that route, so it's taking the secondary route. Yes, so far this is all for today. Hope you like it, enjoy it. And from the next video, we'll start working on the AD I'll create one AD VPN for this port, one is using the secondary link, and then we do the traffic tuning in the BGP. See you in next video. Thank you.